guys? LocsNLoad Firearm reviews here today. Alright, man, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not feeling the best today. About a year ago, I herniated a disc in my back at work. Lifting wrong, we're not lifting heavy stuff. And, I've gotten better over it. You see me run around, move on. But sometimes it comes back every blue moon and annoys me. And today's one of those days, so. But I'm here today to give you this video, this update on my Glock 43X MOS. And so I've had questions asked about this gun, why did I get it, yada yada yada. And so I'm gonna give us a quick update. I did a setup video almost 11 months ago, and so I've been carrying this gun I would say pretty much primarily for most of that time. There's a little bit I carry my CZ, but for most of that time I've been carrying this handgun. And so I want to give a quick update on it, in case people are on the fence about it or thinking about doing the same setup, because it's a very popular setup. With this combination, it's really hard to beat for an EDC package. And so before I get into my 5 things, I'm gonna go over quick what I got on the gun, and then we'll move on to the questions. So we got Glock 43X MOS here. It's 9mm, right? And so I use, of course, for my EDC, hollow points. Federal Premium 147 grain hollow points. And so again, Glock 43X MOS. And so MOS means it's already cut for a red dot. As you can see here, I have a Holosun 407K2. It's made specifically for these subcompact pistols like this 43X or like the Hellcat or the 365. Right? Also made for these subcompact pistols is the light. The light is from Streamlight, the TLR7 sub. Again, made and designed for these subcompact pistols. And I like it because instead of like 100 lumen light or one of those small, not very usable lights, it's 500 lumens. And so it really can light up the night. Not like 100 yards away type stuff, but enough to where, like, if you're on the driveway and someone's in your car, you can shine them down. So I think it's pretty good. I like it. It's better than the other options out there on the market, and so you really can't beat this light. Now, as far as any other upgrades to the pistol, the only thing I've had done was Eric Undead Prophet was give me a slide undercut here, so I can get a higher purchase on the pistol and a better grip, because this thing does kick a lot. It's a smaller pistol, and so there are certain trade-offs when you go with these subcompacts. But for the most part, for EDC, something like this is really where you want to go. And so moving on to the holster, I use a Tier 1 concealed holster in the God's Plaid M81 Woodland, one of my favorite camos. It's got the Tier 1 concealed clips. And I love these clips because even if I'm not wearing a belt or if I'm wearing sweatpants or gym shorts, these clips will still hook onto there and support my firearm. And now, one of the biggest things that sold me on getting this handgun was the magazines. And so these are aftermarket magazines. These are shield arm magazines. And so what's different about these magazines is that the original 43X comes with 3 10-round magazines. And so Shield Arms found a way, I think they removed some type of piece in a magazine, whatnot, and it's able to hold 15 rounds in a magazine that is flush. Doesn't stick out. And so it's a flush magazine. And not only do they do a 15 round, they came out with a +5 base plate. And so this holds 20 rounds. So something this small holding 20 rounds of 9mm, and it's got a red dot and a 500 lumen light. Right? So that's a hard EDC package to beat. There's really not much on the market until like you could say the macro SIG 365 macro came out. But for a long while, this was still the gun to beat. It's the reason why all these other companies are making their handguns hold 15 rounds and be subcompact, because Glock and Shield Arms combination did that. But anyway, that's my setup and what I carry for my pistol. And so I want to get into the questions that I have on this pistol and an update of how I feel and what I like about this gun. All right, so 5 questions about my time with the Glock 43X MOS. All right, 1, has it lived up to my expectations? All right, so when I first heard about this package, the 43X with the shield arms, I was honestly calling it the best EDC package you can get, like hands down. Again, because at the time there's nothing else on the market that was beating it, and so has it lived up to the expectations of being the best concealed carry handgun ever made? And so I can't honestly say it's the best ever made, but it's pretty damn good, right? It's honestly one of my best EDC purchases I've ever made, and to carry this gun, honestly, I wish Glock came out with something like this sooner, because this would have probably been like one of the first ones I got, and I would have liked it. And so to live up to my expectations, I would say so, yes. It's been one of the best EDC guns I've carried. Now, it hasn't always been perfect. No, we had like a rocky road getting to where we are, but we worked some kinks out, and now where we are, I think we're very comfortable together. We have a very good rapport. We have good communication. We take care of each other, and so I think the relationship's going pretty well. Right? But honestly, one of the biggest problems I had was just getting used to the red dot. Now, this red dot window is a little smaller than like a typical full-size pistol red dot, and so it took a little for me to get used to it. And I don't have any other pistols with a red dot, so this is the only pistol I had to really train on a red dot. And so it took some time for me to get comfortable coming out of concealment, drawing on a target with some speed, and still having accuracy, getting the dot on target, because the dot likes to move a lot. When you're shooting a dot with a handgun, so it's gonna move around on you a lot. It's just something you just gotta practice and work through, and you can still really stack those rounds more accurately than you can with the iron sights once you really get familiar with the red dot and the handgun. And so, like I said, right where we are, we feel very comfortable. And so, yeah, up to my expectations, yes. But can I say it's the best EDC handgun ever made? I can't answer that. Maybe you guys can. Get in the comment section and let me know what's your favorite, or what's the best EDC handgun in your eyes. All right, moving on to the second question, which is very important when it comes to carrying a handgun on you all day and night. Comfort of concealment. How comfortable is carrying this handgun? Now, I would say it's honestly my most comfortable handgun. When you're carrying something this size, it really does not take up a lot of weight. It's not something that's going to be like heavy or a real burden. And I know, because I carry a CZ P07 9mm, and that's pretty much a mostly metal gun. And if you know what a P07 is, you know what I'm talking about. So that is a lot heavier than the Glock 43X. And so for me to complain about the weight or the discomfort of this handgun, it's really hard for me to do so when I'm especially used to carrying P07s. I've carried my Glock 45, which is a full-size gun. My first concealed carry gun was a Beretta M92. I've carried Glock 19s, Taurus G2s, which are bigger than this. So it's like I'm kind of used to carrying a bigger gun. So carrying something like this is like it just feels so small and lightweight that sometimes you can kind of forget that you have it on you, but you do have it on you. And so it's honestly been one of my most comfortable handguns to carry on me. And so that's not to say that it doesn't get annoying at sometimes. It's not like absolutely perfect, not like heaven perfect, but it's very doable. Like, I really have no issue carrying this handgun all day. It just does sometimes get annoying, and that's just kind of the nature of concealed carry. It's comfortable, for time to get through and do what you do, but sometimes it can get annoying, especially if you're carrying out work like I do. Right? So, but for the most part, yeah, it's been my most comfortable handgun. Now, another important thing, it can be all nice, it looks all pretty, got all the cool upgrades, but if you cannot draw from concealment and put rounds on target accurately, that doesn't mean anything. And so, next question is ease of draw and shooting. How easy is it for me to draw from concealment with this smaller handgun? Now, it doesn't give as much room to grab onto as, like, let's say my Glock 45, which is a full-size handgun. But it does give me about like the same, like I can still again get all my fingers on the grip. So when it's in the holster, so the ease of draw is pretty normal to me. But again, I'm somebody who practice often drawing. Like before I leave the house, like I'm always doing like about 3 practice draws, and that's just something I do, you know, just to keep myself sharp. And so for me, drawing from concealment at this point has been very easy, like a normal handgun, any like a Glock 19 or PL7 that I've carried. And so it really just comes down to training for that. And so I feel like any handgun you carry, once you train with it often and get familiar with it, you're gonna have an easy time drawing from concealment and shooting that handgun. But I will say, for shooting, this handgun is very snappy. It's you know, you look at the barrel, it's less than a 4-inch barrel, and you know, you're gonna get a lot of snap out of these subcompact handguns. It's again just one of the trade-offs. Just carrying a handgun this size, it's not gonna be perfect. No handgun is perfect. Everything has pros and cons. But one of the cons of this is, I guess we're rolling to the next question. But yeah, I'll save that for the cons for the next question. But as far as shooting, it does require a stronger grip, more of a focus on your shooting mechanics and fundamentals, because again, this handgun is going to move around a lot more than a full-size handgun. But with the red dot on here, it really does help, because I'm not using this small sight picture that I have up here with the shorter gun. The red dot is just, you know, put the dot on target, and I can put rounds on target and get roughly in a circle. You know, if I really focus, I can maybe stack rounds. But for the most part, when you're doing self-defense shooting, it's accurate enough to put like shots into like a human-sized chest, like into a small box area. Again, with the proper amount of training and familiarization with the handgun. So, again, it just takes a little bit more to shoot it, but again, we're supposed to be out there training anyway with our handgun, so it should be a non-factor. Now, moving to the next one, pros and cons. All right, the pros. Holds a lot of rounds. Again, 16, so 15 round magazine plus 1 in the chamber, 20 round spare mag. Right, that's a lot of rounds to carry for something this size. I have a decent size, a decent powered light in a small package, but at the same time, as you can see, it does stick out a little bit. So for those people who are worried about, you know, standoff and someone getting too close where it knocks your gun out of battery, so you got a little bit of standoff. Even though I'm not a huge, you know, proponent of that standoff, for those who care, you do have that. Small handgun that's easy to conceal. Like I can honestly throw this in my pocket. I've done it before. I don't recommend it, but I've done it before. And it's honestly, it just feels like, again, I don't have it up here, but it's about the size of my cell phone here that I'm using to film right now, my S23 Ultra.
Ready?
So it's,
As you'll ever be.
Again, easily you can throw in the pocket, easily concealable. And as far as accuracy, it seems on point for a subcompact. Again, it's not a 1 MOA gun. It's I'm as accurate as you are type of gun. So there's that. Let's see. What else do I like about it? Lightweight, doesn't take up a lot of room, and the holster is pretty nice. I love Tier 1 concealed. Now, as far as cons, what don't I like? I don't like how snappy it is when you're shooting the gun. Like, you really gotta like grip the handgun, which again, like, you should be gripping the handgun, but it just, compared to shooting a full size or a compact size handgun, you really have to grip into this handgun because it's gonna move around, it's gonna snap on you because of just the nature of a subcompact handgun. Now, as far as that's about it, to be honest. I don't like how snappy it is. Now, the red dot, again, I don't want to say it's a con because again, it's just a training issue. It's a smaller window, so it does, take a little bit more to focus in on it. But again, once you're trained on it, my window's dirty. Again, once you train on it, honestly, not bad. You can, right? Just maybe sometimes you have to have a little bit of correction. You might be off just a tad, but for most part, you can really be where you need to be. Again, it's not a con, it's just more of a training issue, something that requires a lot of training. The trigger's alright. It's a Glock trigger. There's nothing to write home about, nothing special. I don't like to really mess with my internals on a handgun when it comes to concealed carry. Not necessarily for legality reasons, there's that, but it's also reliability reasons. I don't want anything inside the gun messing with any internals, changing all that stuff, changing pins and springs and stuff inside my handgun because I just don't want to affect the reliability. Now, what Glock has done for years from the factory has worked, right, since the 80s. And so I don't want to do anything different inside the gun. On the outside, sure, I'll add light, I'll add a red dot, I'll add better magazine. But as far as everything inside, I'll leave that up to Glock. All right, last and final. Locs, what are there any future upgrades, or do you plan on replacing this handgun? Now, to answer the first question, do I want to add any upgrades? As far as where it stands, I'm fine, but with the snap of the handgun, I would like to maybe get like an extended, threaded barrel and add a compensator to this handgun to help mitigate some of that recoil. It's just, something in the back of my mind, not something I'm really going to, I'm just really adamant about. It's just something in the back of my mind. Hey, what if I add a compensator? Would it be better for me to add a compensator, or would it be better for me to get a slide cuts up here to kind of like port the handgun? And so I think it'd be better to run a compensator. That way, if I don't like it, I can just take it off, right? But where if I make the ports in the gun, I'm kind of stuck with the ports in the gun, and so I can't change it if I don't like it. So I might go compensator. But as far as that, the red dot's fine, the light is fine. I'm not gonna mess or change with the internals, and so I don't plan on any future upgrades besides that compensator. And as far as replacing this handgun, I'm not gonna do that. I know people say, well, the X365 macro holds 17 rounds and yada yada. I'm not gonna pay $800 for an extra 2 rounds, right? I think I made a video on this already in the past before, but yes, I've shot the macro. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice handgun. It's not as snappy as the 43X, but it's because it has like a compensator in it already, and so it's gonna be a little bit lesser felt recoil because of that. But again, for me to spend $800 for a comp gun with 2 extra rounds that can do the same thing this does, is about the same size as well. It's a little bigger, but right around this size. And so it'd be cheaper for me to just get a threaded barrel with a compensator, and then I'm cool. If I was really tripping on ammunition, all right, cool. Now you got 20 rounds, 21. But I'm not. I'm fine with my 16 rounds in my 43X pistol. And so I'm not looking to replace it, and I'm not really looking to do too many upgrades. It's honestly served me well to this point. So no qualms. All right. So again, guys, hopefully you like the video. This is my baby. But I gotta get it right. There we go. So I've been carrying this for 10, 11 months. And so if someone asks me, should I do this, I don't recommend you just copy someone else's gun. I recommend you build a gun to your specifications, to your needs, and to your environment. But if someone said, no, hey, I'm in the same environment as you, same yada yada. Should I build something like this? And I would say, sure, go ahead. If you're not gonna get the X365 macro, go with the 43X MOS and the shield arm mags, right? And then go train. So that's my recommendation. This is my EDC package, my update on my handgun and everything, my holster, magazines, all that good stuff. Now, if you want to help support the channel, there's several ways you can do that. Patreon, become a member. You can help support the channel that way. You can go to the link in the description and buy a t-shirt, which also helps support the channel. Or you can come here to Jacksonville, Florida, and also with links in the description, and sign up with K&A Accessories and get some training from us, which also helps us out in the business now and helps you out, because now you get the proper training from the properly trained people. On top of that, guys, I want to thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe. LocsNLoad out.